Michael Venom Page calls out Ian Garry on the Ariel Helwani podcast. Now, who will actually win this fight? Well, before we talk about who's going to win this fight, let's take a look at their latest performances in which Michael Venom Page fought Garry, in which Michael Venom Page landed a nasty leg kick on Garry's knee, in which it completely destroyed Garry's knee, and Michael Venom Page won by TKO in round 1. After this, we all know just recently Michael Venom Page went on to fight Kevin Holland, in which Michael Venom Page landed some nasty shots and elbows and completely outlanded Kevin Holland, and Michael Page won this by decision.
For the winner, by unanimous decision, Michael!
Now let's take a look at Ian Garry's latest performances, in which he fought Neil Magny, in which Ian Garry dropped Neil Magny multiple times with some nasty leg kicks, and Ian Garry also landed some nasty kicks to the head, in which Ian Garry took control of the whole entire fight and won by decision.
And still undefeated, the future!
After this, Ian Garry just recently fought Jeff Neal, in which Ian Garry was running for his life, but he still managed to land some shots on Jeff Neal, in which he outlanded Jeff Neal and won by decision.
And still undefeated, the future!
Now let's take it all the way back from the start, so that way it makes sense of why Michael Venom Page called out Ian Garry on Ariel Helwani's podcast. And that is simply because during fight week for UFC 298, Ian Garry was being interviewed, in which they asked him, would you be willing to fight Michael Venom Page, because he is making his UFC debut fighting Kevin Holland, in which he said with no hesitation that there's no way that Michael Venom Page gets through Kevin Holland, so obviously he doesn't see him as a potential fight. Now what makes the build up to this fight even way more interesting is that back during fight week for UFC 299, MVP was being interviewed, in which they asked him for his thoughts on Ian Garry, saying that there was no way that he's going to get through Kevin Holland, in which he said that everyone's entitled to their opinion, but he said that he's seen Ian Garry's prediction more of him worrying, as he said that it was more of a hope Michael Venom Page doesn't get through Kevin Holland, because if he does, that means I'm in line for a potential fight, which also makes sense. So in the end, I believe that Ian Garry definitely underestimated Michael Venom Page to be quick and confident to say that there was no way that he stands a chance against Kevin Holland. But now that Michael Venom Page put on a show and at the same time beat Kevin Holland, definitely tells me that Ian Garry is definitely worried. So if this fight ever happens, I can guarantee you that Ian Garry is going to turn into a wrestler real quick, because there's no way he's going to want to stand toe-to-toe with Michael Venom Page.